welcome back or welcome to Yoga with Ciara. This is day 3 of wellness. Today I'm going to talk about the physiological sigh. And so the physiological sigh is this double breath. So let's do it right now. Just feel the quality of you, of your nervous system, of the charge or the busyness of you. And then take a breath. And then straight away take another breath in on top of it. And then let it out, and really long letting out. You can let it out through your nose, or they say you can also let it out through your mouth. Let's do that again. Breath. And then another one. So during the day, I use that a lot. Moments of stuff, so I'm like, breath, another one, and I rest. So it down regulates your nervous system. It helps you move into the parasympathetic. It helps me be more present in my body and manage what's going on. So it's notice for you when you might use that. I'm going to put up some information about it later on, and then we're going to use it in our yoga practice as well, okay? So come stand on your mat. Come. So today we're going to talk about opening and closing the hip. So hold on to your wall, have your stick if you want, a broom or some kind of thing. And then lift the right leg up. And as you lift the right leg up with your knee bent, you're closing the front of the right hip. I'm closing. And then reach your right leg behind you and you're opening the front of the right hip. Okay, so closing, opening. And just feel the physical difference in the texture. One has a squeeze, and the other one has this long line of connection. Squeeze. And there's something happening in the other hip, of course. There's something happening in the other buttock, the other foot. But just feel opening, closing, opening, closing. Change sides. Bring your broom to the right-hand side, or bring the wall to the right-hand side, and then closing, opening, closing, opening. Feel the quality. Well, this is closing, this is opening. And I'm not letting my head move. I'm letting the movement be in my hip, okay? Opening, closing, opening, closing. Nice. So let's do a sun salutation and just notice when that happens in our body. So just start by, we're just going to do the roll down first. So as you roll forward, bend your knees and just come all the way forward. And when you're all the way down, you've just closed the front of the two of your hips. And then rolling all the way up, reach your arms wide. And as you reach up and look up, you've just opened the front of your hips. Squeeze your bum, connect down into your legs. And then do that again. Bending your elbows, bending your knees. You're closing deeply the front of your hips. And then coming all the way up. Push down into your feet, lengthen your legs, squeeze your bum, and feel the opening in the front of your hips. One more time. Coming all the way forward, closing the front of your hips. Nice. And then coming all the way up. Reaching wide, squeeze your bum, push down into your feet, opening the front of your hips. Cool. So, front of your mat. Let's bring this into action. Nice. So reach your arms wide, palms together, reaching up, looking up. Push down into your feet, squeeze your bum, open the front of your hips deeply. Feel that sensation. Bending your elbows, bending your knees, come all the way forward, closing the front of your hips deeply. Hands to your shins, arch your back, look forward. We stayed closed. No difference in the hips as such here. Hands to the floor, step your right foot back. We opened the front of the right hip and the left hip is closed. Just notice that. Opening of the right, closing of the left. So really feel the closing of the left. There's a deep squish in the deep of your left hip. And the right hip is long and open. Nice. Drop your right knee to the floor. Travel forward and backwards. And the left hip is staying closed. But then the right hip closes. But the left hip is staying firm. See how Nothing's really changing in the left hip, in the where the belly and the thigh meet. There's loads happening at the back of the leg, of course. But the right hip is closing and then opening. As always, walk your hands over towards the right, and that'll help you move if you're feeling like there's not much movement. Closing, opening. Nice. Bring both knees back, and then just bring your arms out forward and drop your head down. So we're just leaning a little bit into our arms and noticing how the sensation is. So as always with arms, only go as far as feels comfortable. As you lean your hips back towards your heels, they're never going to get there because I'm quite high away from my heels. I have a sense of deeply squeezing through the front of my hips, closing the front of my hips as I lengthen backwards. Breathe into the back of your rib cage. So I feel like I'm really pointy into my sit bones and that my sit bones are pulling more and more backwards towards the wall behind me. Nice. Hands to underneath your shoulders. Lean a little bit forward to open into your hips and then sit your bum back towards your heels. So you're just traveling forward and backwards. Your spine isn't doing anything in particular because the focus is closing the hips, opening the hips, closing, opening. So I'm not doing banana back here. I'm not just flopping my belly forward and like leaning into it, really flopping. So I feel like all I'm doing is feeling that sense of, oh, there is length, and I stop when I feel length. I'm not going into hypermobile. I'm not hurting my back in any way. Nice. Now push back into your downward dog. And this is closing of the deep front of your hips. Just feel that. Long into your legs, pull your heels back. And then let's try that sigh thing. So take a breath and then take another. And just let yourself settle in. And take a breath and then another. And let it sigh out and deepen. Nice. Bring both knees to the floor. So lengthen your right leg behind you and then lift your right foot off the floor. So you've opened the front of your right hip. But I'm not moving my spine. Bend your right knee and try and squeeze your right knee as close as you can towards you. But I'm not dropping my head and I'm not moving my spine. So I'm only moving my leg. And so to do this, I tend to stare at a point really fixed with my eyes. And then I hear my torso and connect to the sensations of belly, pelvis, spine, shoulders, neck. And as I move my knee forward and as I lengthen my leg back, I'm just experiencing squeeze, close, open. Nice. One more time, squeeze and open. Leg is long behind you. Actually, no, drop your knee to the floor. Just do a cat pose. Rounding, arching, rounding, arching, rounding, arching. So we're going to bring that into the movement that we just did a moment ago. So keep your spine steady, keep it still. Lift your right knee up and bend your right knee so your foot is pointing towards the ceiling. So keep your leg. So we're not going to move our leg, but our leg will be moved by what we do. So round your back. Your knee will drop down a little bit. Arch your back and your knee will lift a little bit. So just move your spine, rounding your back, arching your back. So even though I didn't say move your leg is moving. Round your back, arch your back. So which one helps your front of hip open more? Is it the rounding or the arching? When you feel into the front of your hip, what's naturally happening? So as I round, is my hip opening more? Or is it closing with kind of a sense of a contraction? Nice. Rest back into your child's pose. All the way back. Just closing deeply. Resting back. Wiggle your fingers. I can feel the pressure into my hands, into my wrists. Really wonderful. I can feel it. I'm like, that's so interesting. I can feel my hands were working, that I was weight bearing into my hands. Very important thing. Sigh, breath, and then a deeper breath. And then let it all out. So often I feel, I've said this before, but sometimes like my breath feels like a leaf blower. So it's like there's a busy or a buzziness in my body. I take a breath and another breath. It's like it clears out the charge or the busy from me as I do that. So notice in you, as you take a breath and another, what does it do to you? What does it change? Just another moment or two more. Does this feel like a tool or a skill that would make sense to you to use? Nice. Push back, downward dog, all the way back. So step your right foot forward. So to do that, you have loads of options. One is that you just swing your foot forward between your two hands. The other is that you drop your knees down and swing your foot forward. The other is that you rise up and swing your foot forward and then bring your hands down. See how you get there. So lengthen your back leg so your toes are clear on the floor. So I'm not turning my foot in any way. Bring both hands to your front knee and rise up. So we're balancing, okay? So if you're finding that you're wobbling a lot, it might be that your 2 feet are on a tightrope. If you want more balance, then step your left foot a bit out towards the left. It'll give you a wider base. See what you need to do, okay? So here, the front of my left hip is opening and the front of my right hip is closing. So we're going to do unloaded spinal movements. So bring your hand to your thigh and lean forward. So as I lean forward, the right hip is closing more, and then rise up, reach your arms up. The left hip is opening more. Nice. Hands down to your thigh. Squeeze the right hip closed. Really feel it, like I'm squeezing my thigh to my belly. Push your hands down, rising up, and then reach up into the left hand and exaggerate the opening through the left leg. Nice. And again, hand to your front thigh. Squeeze the right hip closed. Last one. Rising up and lengthen. So I'm going to draw my heel back, open my knee towards the ceiling a little bit more. Lean and open into the front of my thigh and even look up a little bit, and that'll lift my chest as well, which will exaggerate the lengthening through the psoas and the deep of the front of my hip. Breathe into it. Find your distance. If you want to soften into this, if you want to stop, pause, do. Okay, find your distance always. So bring your hands down to your thigh and step forward. Wow, so nice. Feel a bit crooked. Very nice. So let's do the other side so we're not feeling crooked. So reach your arms wide, palms come together. Front of your hips are opening. Nice. Bending your elbows, bending your knees. Front of your hips are closing. Just pause there, really folding deeply into the hips. Hands to your shins, arch, still closed in the front of the hips. Nice. Hands to the floor, step your left foot back, open left hip, closed right hip. Pause. Breathing into your belly, really settling into that. Nice. Drop your left knee to the floor. You can walk your hands over towards the left if you wish to straighten and bend that right knee, or stay with your hands either side of the right foot. Straighten and bend the knee, and notice that your right hip is staying closed, but your left hip is opening and closing as you do this. So lean into the opening, which is forward, and then squeeze into the closing, which is back. So the focus is on the left leg as you do this. Opening, closing, opening, closing. One more time. Opening, closing. Cool. Bring both knees back, hands underneath your shoulders. Sweep your right hand under your left armpit and look towards the left. Your head is down on the floor, perhaps. Your shoulders down on the floor, perhaps. My left hand is scaffolding, so it's really firm and connected into the floor, my left hand. Because if my left hand is soft, and I've just collapsed. Whereas if my left hand is strong, I'm twisting. So my elbow is stacked above my hand. There's a sense of deep architecture in that left arm. Nice. Come all the way back up. Other side. Sweep the left hand under the right armpit. Right elbow is stacked above the right hand. The architecture and support of the whole pose is in the right hand. Push it down more. And I'm even connecting my left shoulder into the floor. So I'm connecting, I'm twisting, breathing. Take a sigh, breathe in. So nice. So as you breathe here, your liver gets an injection of movement. Very nice. Let's try that again. Oh, very, very nice. And come all the way back. Cool. Push back into your downward dog. All the way back. Find length through your body. So here, the front of your hips are kind of closing. They're more closed than open. So feel that. Nice. Knees to the floor. And then rock forwards, leaning your hip a little bit forward, opening. Sit back, closing. If you feel strong in your spine, walk your hands a little bit more forward. If you feel like there's weakness in your lower back and spine, then don't walk your hands forward. Okay? So this practice is progressive. So you're always moving in wellness rather than assuming that doing something sore will bring wellness. This is not true. To really stay in wellness, progressive, steady, incremental practice. It's the action of moving and connecting, mapping the body, creating a landscape of connectivity that then we bring into our day. Nice. Push back into your downward dog, lengthening back. And then stepping the left foot forward. So whatever way you do that, swing, hop, skip, jump, drop, step. Nice. Lengthen the back leg. So again, if you feel like you're a wobbly person, then step your right foot a little bit more towards the right. Otherwise, stay where you are. Bring both hands to the front knee and rise. So that's unloaded when we hold, take the weight of our torso into our hands and use our hands to rise. Nice. So front hip is now opening. Hands to your thigh. Left hip is closing. Squeeze it even more. So like I'm trying to really push my belly into my thigh. Nice. And now pushing down. Reach your arms up. Right hip is opening. Nice. Hands to your thigh. Left hip is closing. Opening up. Feel it? Oh, yes, that's an opening hip. Closing. Yes, this is a closing hip. Nice. One more time. Opening, rising, down, closing. We're going to hold it for a few breaths. So rising up, reach your arms up. I'm going to lengthen a little bit more into that back leg, really connect it more. Lift my chest, lean and look upwards. And just feel that, the front of my right hip is opening. As I breathe, there's more movement possibility into it. Maybe do a sigh here, so a breath and then a deeper breath. And settle in even more. Nice. Hands come down, rest on your thigh. Lovely. From here, hop, 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 slowly forward. Hop. Oh no, I missed something. Down. Oh, we missed something. So come back down into your cat pose. And then without you moving your spine, lengthen the left leg back. And then forward. So don't move your spine as you do this. So again, I'm finding that I'm staring at a point very fixedly. I have a sense of contraction in my shoulders and my rib cage as I stabilize. It's not that one is better than the other, it's to have choices is really important in the body. So bring your leg back, bend your knee, and now round your back. Your leg will be moved. Arch your back, your leg is moving. So you're not moving your leg, it's being moved by what's happening. So it's almost like, can I imagine keeping my knee as high and back as possible? And even within that range of back, it's being changed by the movement of my spine. Nice. Come lie on the floor, all the way down. Stretch your legs out long. Have your feet wide or wider than your mat. And just rest your hands at the front of your hips. Can you let your feet fall a bit outwards maybe? Can you allow your calves to land, your thighs to land? A sense of widening and opening through the front of the hips. Breath, can you drop it down into your belly? And maybe take a few sighs. So take a breath. Settling deeply into your belly. And then just let everything settle. Like allow your shoulders to be heavy, your pelvis to be heavy. You can bring your hands wide so your palms are facing the ceiling. And just let yourself really just pause. We're just going to pause. Like if you can do it for longer, some of you I know stay on and do a stillness practice at the end of the yoga. Some of you meditate. Some of you just lie there and listen to the music. But all of you just rest. Just 30 seconds. Let's rest together. Settle in, deepen. Notice the quality of your nervous system. Maybe take a sigh, a deeper breath. Can you really sink? Nice. So if you have the option of staying there, then do stay. Stay for another minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. If you don't, then squeeze your knees up towards your chest, close the front of your hips, squeeze them in, and feel the difference between legs long, open, to squeezing, which is closed. Interesting. Well, this is going well. I'm liking this. Yeah, well, I think we're going to discover and endeavor or adventure into things that, yeah, it's very nice. I like standing. Standing feels good. So I'll see you tomorrow. In this world, it's Saturday. So we're still doing standing, same. So last month we did Saturday and Sunday yum. This month we're only doing a Sunday yum. So Sunday is down on the floor, whereas every other day will be up and active. So keep sighing. It's great. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Be lovely to be here. Very nice to share my morning with you. Great. Bye.